Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your end of October 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So in terms of the update, we are having a lunar eclipse coming up in a matter of days. 5 days to be exact from when I'm recording this on the 28th. I'm not recording on the 28th. It's going to happen on the 28th. So as a Sag myself, this is going to be in Taurus. It's going to be the 6th house of health. Maybe for some people it would actually be in the 5th house of love and creativity. But if you are watching this for your sun in Sagittarius, your rising sign can be any sign. So it might be in a totally different place for you. Wow. Isn't this interesting? Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to pick an additional card. Okay. I like this spread. To be perfectly honest with you, I really like this. The heart of the matter is the Strength card. Yes, it's associated with Leo, and Leo is a fellow fire energy. So Leo is that fiery, independent type of energy that fire signs like Sag as well as Aries also have. There is a dignity with Leo that to me is also about the strength aspect of this, which basically means that when someone is recovering from something, including like for instance, let's say someone has been in an abusive relationship and they get away from that relationship, it takes time to build a person back up to a place where they really feel strong, because the other person may have kind of chipped away at their self-esteem and that kind of thing, or just being in the stressful, like even physically, a negative relationship can take its toll on a person. So you are, whatever has been happening for you in your personal life, Sag, this can just be a sign that you're really starting to get more and more powerful. Or it could simply be that you're dealing with a Leo person in your life a lot right now. Also, another thing that I want to say about this is that sometimes when someone has been dealing with a lot, the strength, to me, the Strength card and the Star card are two cards which tell me that that person has been dealing with a lot of stuff, and now they're kind of on the road to recovery, if you want to call it that. In the past position, we have the Sun card, which is one of those cards. It's funny that they show like an orange inside of a bottle. It's like bottling the sun. This is, oh, you know, it's funny. This is another card associated with Leo. So in astrology, Leo rules the 5th house of love and creativity. And I just said that for some of you, maybe a lot of you, that lunar eclipse is falling in your 5th house. Okay? If so, what that can mean is that the person is, you know, they might be realizing that they're in love with someone. They might realize that they are, um, meant to be an artist, and they've been doing something else, and they've been trying to fit into something else. And really, the sun represents our individuality. So this is right up the alley of Sag and all fire signs, is that idea of the self versus conforming to other people's expectations or being part of the societal thing. You could call it rebellion, but it really is, to me, a good thing to approach life this way. And for some of you, love has proven to be like a healing force, uh, or creativity. Never underestimate the power of creativity to kind of like enliven yourself and your life. People don't really give a lot of credit to creativity in general, I feel, but I do believe that it has this incredible power to be able to help people, inspire them and things like that. The higher message is the Knight of Cups. This can be for anybody that you have met romantically, that you have finally met your match in terms of an artistic soul. I always call this James Taylor card, or the singer-songwriter card, the person who is, very romantic, very artistic. In terms of other areas of life, this could be an offer of love. And with the Strength card, it's really about strengthening your purpose, strengthening your sense of self. And if someone has recognized you, because I did get the Six of Wands. So it is like that sense of being seen for your talents by somebody else. And it's hard for people to understand what this means if you are kind of operating outside of the mainstream, because if you have a regular job, then you get like job reviews and things like that, and they might tell you certain things that they like about your work. But when you're kind of like working for yourself or whatever, something along those lines, you don't, it just happens. If you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. And it might feel that you're in the wilderness sometimes. But on the flip side, there is that sense of freedom, the wild freedom that Sag loves. So what I'm trying to say is that I feel that the Knight of Cups can be a card that kind of gives you that sign that you are on the right track. What crosses you is the Ten of Wands, and this can be a card of feeling very burdened by demands that are placed on you in your career, or if this is something to do with your private life, then that's the case as well. I actually love the colors of this card. In this deck, all the cards are corresponding to a crystal, and in this case aquamarine, which I'm not sure of the properties of it, but I love that color. It's like probably my favorite color right now. So in any case, the Ten of Wands can be that maybe you are taking on responsibility for someone else. So let's say that you have fallen in love outside of your relationship, but you feel like your current partner needs you, that you have to be there for that person. And I'm not saying that a person should or shouldn't be there for their partner. But if, this sense of obligation is really strong within yourself, where you're like, oh, I have to do this, keep in mind that that other person may not be the right one for you. And if that's the case, then you are just going to sacrifice the rest of your life for this person who is not appreciating you at the moment. And sometimes people consciously make that decision that yes, they're going to do that because they feel that there's some higher reason for that. And I believe that there might be in certain cases. But if you are reluctant to sacrifice yourself and yet you feel like you are being forced to on some level, like for instance, if you're married and you feel like you took a vow and all of this, then you're going to try and make something work that may not be capable of working. So everything has to be sorted out. You don't have to do it overnight, but you have to be aware of where you tend to rush in and take responsibility for things that don't belong to you. And that could be as simple as other people's feelings. In the workplace, the boss's needs or shortages. If there aren't enough workers, of course people are going to fill in for other people from time to time. But if you're being taken advantage of, like if you're not getting more money at least, and you're constantly doing that, then who is the one that is responsible? It's not the people that are trying to get something from someone. It's the person who is allowing it. What's coming in is the Seven of Swords. It's interesting that they have this card in black and white, because this card really, and gray, because they mention silver as the precious metal. This is a card, it can be of deception, but I think in this particular context, it's one of the other interpretations, which is, strategizing by yourself, which basically means that a person is kind of maybe working behind the scenes, or planning behind the scenes for something that they want to achieve. That they like if they have some kind of a project, maybe you don't want to just quit and then start to create a business. You feel like you should have income coming in while you are creating that business, which sounds really smart to me. And so you don't necessarily broadcast to everybody, hey, I'm creating a business for myself, and then I'm going to quit this job. Some people are a little bit more savvy than that, and they're like, well, yeah, they don't need to know that yet. The outcome is the Ten of Swords. This is a card of betrayal, but I think it's also realizing betrayal sometimes when somebody's been in denial. But that's why I picked an additional card, because of the connotation. But it actually has a positive connotation, which can mean that the worst is over. So if you have felt, and definitely with the Strength card, I wouldn't be surprised if all of this is connected. If you have felt, Sag, that you have been through a rough patch, and that you're looking for signs of improvement, that could be one of them. Because, with the Strength card and the Sun card can simply mean a higher self-esteem. So, like for instance, if you have been cheated on by a partner, and even if you totally know that happened, you haven't been in denial over it, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to just automatically jump up and start doing something about it. You may be like, bargaining with yourself and saying things like, well, and it can feel like sometimes, Sages are very optimistic. So even if something has happened, they might say, well, we can work on this. We can, and that can simply be because the person is in denial or shock. And then after a while, you might have a totally different viewpoint. You might think, well, I deserve better than this. And sometimes there are other things that go on. Maybe you're having success career-wise. And so, what's happening personally to you suddenly is not as tolerable. So I picked a card that, a clarification card. I got the Six of Wands. And yeah, I mean, that's exactly what this card represents. It's a card of, again, oh, what's weird? This is associated with Leo. I wonder why I'm getting so many Leo cards. What's going on with Leo? Is there something, astrological? We did have Venus in Leo, in retrograde in that 5th house for a while. It did go direct earlier this month. And for Sag, Leo is, the 5th house in our chart. So, with timing issues, it does speak to that house of love and creativity. So there aren't any transits currently, I don't think, that I can think of that are in Leo. Maybe some asteroids. I don't know. But there were in the not too distant past. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. This is a card of recognition. This is a card of taking your bows. That's the other piece in this, is that, some people think that they would like to be appreciated more, like by their boss, by their partner. But some people can't really handle praise. I don't know. I mean, I think Sagittarius would be pretty good at it, but that's just one of those things of saying, okay, but how do you handle this? Are you kind of like the person who is, always kind of making excuses for things? Or are you, are you able to, handle a compliment? If somebody gives you a compliment, can you just simply say thank you? Or do you argue with the person giving you the compliment, saying, oh, this old dress? That's the, in law of attraction, that's the art of allowing. And sometimes people want things, but they can't accept them. It's one of those paradoxes. If you want something, then you have to be able to accept it. And so, yeah, I mean, that might mean that even though you have been betrayed currently, what is waiting in the wings is this life where you are praised, where people see your talents, abilities, where you have a partner who can, who loves you because they see so many good things about you. Whereas you might have been with somebody who seemed to only focus on your faults and not the things that were so good about you. All right, Sag, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.